Okay, so this is a scene that happens about a third way through the film. Our three characters, Harry, Ron and Hermione, have just escaped some Death Eaters, and they've ended up in this very muggle environment, very real world compared to the wizarding place we've left behind. I wanted it to feel very uncomfortable and quite cold and harsh, and the camera's a little high here, you'll notice. It's not with eye lines, it's actually above them, so it starts to make the whole environment feel slightly claustrophobic and awkward and tense, and I'm moving the camera very slightly to sort of make it feel uncomfortable and a little uneasy. There's a coffee machine playing in the background. I started the scene with the sound of the coffee machine, and it makes a noise, and this sound is a consistent dynamic throughout, which again starts to feed the tension and climaxes around about here as the battle kicks off. And this fight, I wanted it to feel sort of remind the audience about how dangerous magic can be, how kinetic it can be, and how visceral it can be. So it's kind of like a gunfight rather than a one battle. The cafe itself is designed by Stuart Craig, my production designer. We actually built it at Leavesden Studios, but we went around Soho looking at lots of possibilities, and it just was so much easier to control putting it on the studio rather than going on location. I like the harshness of the environment and these red tabletops and the red in the tile, sort of indicative of blood, effectively. So the whole thing feels slightly uncomfortable. And we've got these magical items here, the Deluminator that Dumbledore has left for Ron, being used in a very kind of visceral way. And this part of the scene is thematically very important. It's where these children that we've grown up with use their magical powers in a more dangerous way. And one of the themes in this movie is a breaking of innocence. And Hermione gets to obliviate this Death Eater's memory, which is a very invasive, violent act, basically. And there's something very haunting and moving about seeing these young children we've grown up with doing something that feels really uncomfortable. And Alexander Desplat, who wrote the music, wrote a beautiful cello piece which we use at the beginning of the movie to express the emotion of what it's like to obliviate someone, because Hermione obliviates her parents at the beginning of the film, and we return to that piece of music here, and the coffee machine is still going throughout in a really unusual, abstract way, so it becomes almost musical in its own right.